The oceans have always decided the fate of nations. From ancient trade routes to modern sea lanes carrying energy, food, and data, maritime power is no longer just about fleets of ships, it is about how well a nation can see, protect, and control the vast maritime domain. In today's security environment, naval dominance does not come from a single destroyer, submarine, or aircraft carrier. It comes from something far more complex and far more powerful: integrated maritime defense. Integrated maritime defense is the idea that every element of naval power operates as part of one connected system. Surface ships, submarines, maritime patrol aircraft, satellites, unmanned systems, coastal defenses, cyber networks, and even space-based assets are fused into a single operational picture. Instead of fighting as individual platforms, the Navy fights as a network. Information flows faster than weapons, decisions are made in real time, and threats are detected and neutralized long before they reach critical targets. At sea, the challenge is scale. The maritime domain covers over 70% of the Earth's surface, making it incredibly difficult to monitor and defend. Traditional naval operations relied on patrols and presence, but that approach is no longer sufficient. Modern threats move fast, strike from long range, and often remain hidden until the last moment. Submarines operate silently beneath the waves, anti-ship missiles can travel hundreds of kilometers in minutes, and unmanned systems blur the line between peace and conflict. Integrated maritime defense answers this challenge by creating constant awareness across the entire battlespace. The foundation of this system is maritime domain awareness. This means knowing what is happening above, on, and below the sea at all times. Radar systems on ships and coastal installations scan the surface, sonar arrays listen beneath the waves, and maritime patrol aircraft extend the Navy's vision far beyond the horizon. Satellites track ship movements, detect electronic emissions, and even monitor weather patterns that could affect operations. When all this data is combined into a single, shared picture, commanders gain clarity in an environment that was once dominated by uncertainty. But awareness alone is not enough. Integrated maritime defense connects sensors directly to shooters. A submarine detecting an enemy task force can share that information instantly with surface ships or aircraft. A destroyer does not need to see a target itself to engage it, it can rely on targeting data from another platform hundreds of kilometers away. This sensor-to-shooter linkage dramatically increases reaction speed and allows forces to operate in a more dispersed and survivable manner. Instead of concentrating ships into vulnerable formations, navies can spread out while still fighting as one. Air and missile defense is another critical pillar. Modern navies face saturation attacks from anti-ship missiles, drones, and aircraft launched from land, sea, and air. Integrated maritime defense layers multiple defensive systems together. Long-range sensors provide early warning, allowing ships to prepare and maneuver. Area air defense systems engage threats at distance, while point defense weapons handle anything that slips through. Electronic warfare and decoys add another layer, confusing enemy guidance systems and reducing the effectiveness of incoming attacks. The key is coordination. Each layer supports the others, creating a defensive shield that is far stronger than any single system. Subsurface warfare plays an equally important role. Submarines remain one of the most dangerous threats in naval warfare due to their stealth and striking power. Integrated maritime defense counters this by combining sonar data from ships, submarines, unmanned underwater vehicles, and fixed seabed sensors. Maritime patrol aircraft drop sonobuoys and relay information back to command centers in real time. This collaborative approach turns anti-submarine warfare into a team effort, closing gaps that enemy submarines once exploited. Unmanned systems are rapidly transforming maritime defense. Unmanned surface vessels, underwater drones, and aerial drones extend the reach of the fleet without risking human lives. They can conduct reconnaissance, patrol choke points, track enemy vessels, and even carry weapons. When integrated into the broader defense network, these systems act as force multipliers. A navy can monitor larger areas, respond faster, and maintain persistent presence at a fraction of the cost of traditional platforms. Cyber and electronic warfare form the invisible backbone of integrated maritime defense. Modern naval operations depend heavily on networks, data links, and digital systems. Protecting these networks from cyber intrusion is as important as defending ships from missiles. At the same time, offensive cyber and electronic warfare capabilities can disrupt enemy sensors, communications, and command systems. By blinding or confusing an adversary, a navy can gain decisive advantage without firing a single shot. Command and control is where everything comes together. Integrated maritime defense requires commanders who can process vast amounts of information and make rapid decisions. Advanced command systems use artificial intelligence and data fusion to highlight threats, predict enemy behavior, and recommend courses of action. This does not replace human judgment, but it enhances it, allowing leaders to act faster and with greater confidence. In high-intensity conflict, the side that decides and acts first often wins. The strategic value of integrated maritime defense extends beyond warfare. It strengthens deterrence by signaling to potential adversaries that any aggression will be detected and countered swiftly. It reassures allies and partners by ensuring the security of shared sea lanes and maritime infrastructure. It also supports non-combat missions such as counter-piracy, disaster response, and search and rescue, demonstrating that naval power can protect lives as well as interests. In contested regions such as narrow straits, busy shipping lanes, and resource-rich waters, integrated maritime defense becomes even more critical. These areas are vulnerable to disruption, whether from state actors, non-state groups, or hybrid threats operating below the threshold of open conflict. By maintaining continuous awareness and rapid response capability, navies can prevent crises from escalating and maintain stability in vital maritime corridors. Looking to the future, integrated maritime defense will only grow more important. Advances in hypersonic weapons, autonomous systems, and artificial intelligence will further compress decision timelines and increase the complexity of naval warfare. Success will depend not on the size of a fleet, but on how well its components are connected, protected, and coordinated. Navies that fail to integrate their forces risk being outpaced by faster, smarter adversaries. In the end, naval dominance in the modern era is not about controlling the sea through sheer force alone. It is about mastering information, integration, and coordination across every domain. Integrated maritime defense transforms a collection of ships and systems into a unified, adaptive, and resilient force. It ensures that a navy can see first, decide first, and act first, at sea, below the sea, and beyond the horizon. And in a world where the oceans remain the lifelines of global power, that advantage can shape the balance of security for decades to come.